Hi guys, welcome to Being Heard. I'm Rylie Baye and this is Kiah Stone. This is our first podcast today. This is really exciting.
Really excited to be here.
Yeah, I've been talking about this for ages.
Long time.
Yeah, long time. So a little bit about Being Heard. I've created a platform on social media, on Instagram. It's just under my name at the moment. But I've been sharing women's stories, from body image stories to stories of abuse to stories of becoming, to thoughts and opinions revolving around being a woman in today's society. The main aim of why I've created this is to help inspire and empower women, and just to have women have that reassurance that they're not really alone in this world. There are so many women out there that have gone through the same thing, or have similar stories, and it's really beautiful to be able to create some sort of resonance with this. And that's why I've created the podcast, is so that the women that have shared on my Instagram platform are able to dive deeper into their stories. Speaking of stories, we've got Kiah here.
Hello.
Kiah, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Hello everybody, I'm Kiah Stone, and what I do, or where I'm going in the future, is creating a women's movement here on the Sunshine Coast where we live, and the basis of everything that I do is simply feeling good. So combining yoga and surfing and getting the girls together and just, like you said, sharing each other's stories, and you're not alone, and just hanging out with the girls is the best.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the girls is the best.
The girls.
And that is kind of like my goal, is to create a movement and create days where we come together and just play and laugh and feel good and eat good food and drink clean water, because this is the rituals and the things that I've done to help me heal.
Amazing.
It's been a journey.
Yeah, quite the journey. I mean, I know a lot about your journey. Kiah's a really good friend of mine. But why don't you share a little bit about your journey with everyone else?
Well, 10 years ago, I think, is when it all kind of was the beginning of the end. I was in grade 12 and developed a chronic eating disorder, bulimia, and I was so consumed by it. It was a body image. It was awful. I remember my mum massaging me one time, and she was like started bawling her eyes and crying, and she just couldn't understand why I was doing it, and I couldn't even understand why I was doing it either. And that stuck with me for a long time. I don't know how I got through high school. High achiever, everything had to be perfect. I had to be perfect, and that was like putting myself up on this pedestal.
It kind of coincides, right? Like when we've got this idea of perfection, and we're trying to control that perfection. Sometimes being a woman, that can really lead to food. And food is a really big part in our life, and we see this need to make that perfect by making us perfect. It's like this controlled habit. Yeah,
something that I could control.
Amazing.
I guess everything was scattered up here, but that was a controlling, a coping mechanism for suppressing my emotions and my stress. And since then, I've done a lot of healing, and I cured that illness on my own.
Yeah.
I don't know how or when it just kind of stopped, and I kind of do have an idea when it stopped, how I healed it. It was yoga and taking myself. I woke up one morning and I was 22 years old, master number, and I was like, I gotta change. Something's gotta change. I gotta do something. I was in a really toxic relationship with my partner at the time, and it was a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and a lot of self-loathing, essentially. So I bought myself a ticket to Bali, and I went for a whole month, and I found yoga, and it changed my life. I reckon that was when my anxiety disappeared, my depression disappeared, and I had like a focus. And so began that healing journey with yoga and with breath work and with meditation at such a young age, and still, was still like this, still found myself down here and then brought myself back up, but I'm quicker now to pull myself out of the dumps.
Yeah, it's amazing what a little bit of stillness and slow movement can do for the body, and just movement in general. Really, it's its own form of meditation.
Movement is key.
Yeah.
And being still and just like listening. I don't know about you, but such a fast-paced person. I was just go. And everything was just. I've looked back and reflected on the last 10 years, and it just happened so quick. And I keep seeing the turtle spirit now, and it's like you've been moving much too fast for too long. Like it's time to slow down. Like I have the turtle spirit. I'm like, Mother Earth.
Oh yeah, you've got a little turtle there too.
Connecting with Mother Earth, and that is kind of the direction that I'm going in now, is putting together all these healing modalities that I've done that I know work. Water, food, grounding, barefoot grounding in nature, yoga, hanging out with people who it's like a reciprocal relationship where you're not giving so much. I was a giver and a people pleaser and drained. I've gone through serious skin conditions as well. I'm actually going through like a little breakout right now. You probably can't tell, but it's just I'm lucky. I'm lucky that my skin will talk to me and tell me straight away when like something is out of balance. I know. Like, okay, Kiah, what are you doing? Like, you're missing the point. You're not listening. So what I want to share with girls is kind of like a program that they can follow, like simple steps to simply feeling good and bringing things into balance and listening to the body and listening to the earth and starting that journey of slowly
just healing.
Healing is huge, and I really want to help people who want to help themselves. And that's really important. I think your environment and the people you hang out with is really important when you are healing as well.
Super important. Yeah, there's
so lucky to have you.
I'm lucky to have you. Yeah, there's a saying that my dad used to say a lot, and it was, if you lie with dogs, you'll catch fleas. And I love to use this saying like in my day-to-day life, and it doesn't necessarily have to have a negative connotation around it, but it really reflects that those that you hang out with, you know, in return, you're quite similar with them, like similar to them, you know. So if you're hanging out with really high vibe, good, wholesome human beings, you know, you're going to just only reflect that same energy back into the world. And by doing so, you know, you don't realize it, but you're healing other people as well. You could simply just walk past another human on the street and
give them a smile.
You're just like vibrating so high that, you know, that energy is going to penetrate them in some way. Your orbit. Totally.
They will be sucked into your orbit and you help them rise. And
100%.
Like that's our
it's
mission.
Like one small little thing. That's it. It is our mission, 110%. And I feel like that's like, you know, the main reason for this podcast and for, you know, you being here today and what you're doing with women. It's like, if we can come together, you know, in a sisterhood and raise that vibration, because that vibration has been so low for so long. Women are, you know, due to the patriarchal foundations, women have been pinned against each other. You know, subconsciously our main role as a woman in the society is to, you know, compete for a man's gaze. You know, and we don't even realize that we're doing it. You know, we don't even realize that we're doing it. So it's really important by creating these sister bonds. You know, we kind of like you don't need that. You know, you're here with us. Let's raise the vibration in the feminine and in the womanhood, and let's heal the planet, because really women together are stronger, and we can create a lot of change in this world. We're peacemakers. We don't want war. We don't want bloodshed. We don't want to compete against each other. We don't want any of that.
The nurturers.
Yeah, we're the nurturers.
The day of jealousy, the day of competition, judgment, those days are gone, and that's something that I really want to eradicate from my existence, and I have successfully done that. I don't experience these things anymore, and
it's like high school stuff.
I know, and I want to see more girls walking around, loving their bodies, feeling good, being happy, supporting each other, and then through that we attract lovers that are supporting and loving,
100%.
It's just so common, like, to get into these relationships, and I don't think these guys are bad people, but cheating
realize.
and lying and controlling, and it's just like, it's got to stop.
Yeah. Well, then that's really like when we're in that subconscious sort of pattern of trying to compete for a man's attention and trying to, abide by society's law of how a woman should be and act, and, sit down, be submissive, be a nice girl, look pretty, sit still.
Mm-hmm.
We are attracting those sort of men that want to take dominance in that and take control. I know I've dated and had a really toxic relationship, and I know you have as well, and probably in that time of your life when you attracted him into your life, you would have not been speaking your truth, and you would have been trying to more so fit in and be a people pleaser, and in return you attracted a man that was horrible, absolutely horrible.
He just didn't at the end of the day, is hurt people hurt, and that's all it was, and I can see that for how it is now. But there's nothing more beautiful than seeing a woman or a girl who's just totally 100% themselves, always telling their truth, always speaking their truth, not caring about, it's so attracting, it's so attractive, and
100%.
we need more and more of that everywhere.
But it's only reciprocated, right? Like if that's who you are, you're gonna find that you're attracting those people into your life. If not inspiring those people, like people could be watching this right now, and even just those simple words, it's like, okay, if I start speaking my truth and I start acting out of authenticity and genuinity, like you really are gonna attract that into your life. So if you're in a toxic relationship, it's probably because you're not speaking your truth, and probably because when we don't have the capacity to love ourselves, we accept the love that we think we deserve. It's a really great quote. I actually don't know whose quote that is, but it's an amazing quote. We accept the love that we think we deserve. And so when we can't love ourselves, we will take breadcrumbs. Florence Given, she writes about this in her book. I think it's Women Don't Owe You Pretty. It's an amazing book. I've just started reading it, but she talks about breadcrumbs. And these people, when you don't have the capacity to love yourself, these people will come into your life and they'll leave little breadcrumbs, whether it be a text message or a compliment, or they'll just come into your life, say I love you, and then pop out. And they're toxic, right? Because they see that you don't have those boundaries set. You're not acting on your truth, and you're not putting those boundaries in place for someone that is loving and capable and strong and true and genuine to come into your life. Rather, you're opening the gates to anyone. Really, you're just like, I want to be loved, I can't love myself. And you then in return finding yourself in like these toxic. I know that when I was in my toxic relationship, I did not love myself. Did not love myself.
No, neither did I.
And so I thought his love was real. You think that this love, whether they do something wrong, and then they turn around and they apologize and they tell you how much they love you and how much they need you, and you really allow that to happen, and you allow that pattern to continue, because you're not finding that within yourself. You're not filling that cup up in your own ways.
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned in relationships with a partner is like when it's letting go. You could love that person so much. Like I loved him so much, and I just thought I could change him, thought I could change, and then it's not your job to change someone. And what I've learned is that I've always had this relationships, like everything's hard work, like working hard, your work is hard work, making money is hard work, relationships, like everything's
the old paradigm.
It's not. It's easy, and that's something I've known. It's easy, and if it's not satisfying you, it's not fulfilling you, and it's giving you anxiety, it's making you feel lonely, then it's not love. And the biggest and hardest lesson in this life is just like letting go, and that's something that I'm getting really, really good at. And because I've always been such a people pleaser, and I've always wanted everyone to like me, and I'm okay now with people not liking me
Yeah.
because I go no.
Yeah.
I say no
It's
now.
so important.
And no is so powerful because when you say yes to everything, you spread yourself too thin and it doesn't get you anywhere. But what I've learned, the biggest lesson I've learned in relationships with anyone is letting go. If it's not serving you, if it's not, if it's draining you especially, like, just let it go.
It's gotta be uplifting.
Let it go.
It's gotta be a balance too,
Yeah.
right? With any relationship, whether it's like your family or friends or partner, like it's gotta be this, like, someone's gonna be up here and someone's gonna be down here and that person's gonna bring them up here, and it's gotta be just this, like, and sometimes you guys will meet each other here, and most times hopefully you're up meeting up, but when you are down, it should be, you know, it should be inspiring, or, you know, in some way you're able to kind of like add. You both have full cups, and you can continuously add, where it's like when you're I guess when someone's just taking, when you're just pouring and pouring and pouring, and someone just has this bottomless cup, you're gonna end up with an empty cup.
And really. I think it's like really important to acknowledge that you can't be perfect all the time. You can't be up here all the time. But when you start, I mean, there's a famous saying, like, it starts with you. Everything starts with you. Your relationships with others are a reflection of your relationship with yourself. And what I've learned as I've been refining my life, peeling back the layers, and healing the traumas, is that during those times where I am feeling low, the people closest to me are feeling good and are feeling high, and then they bring me up. And then there's times when, like, they're not feeling so good and you bring them up, and I think that's like that balance. That's the healthy relationship. And it's figuring out early enough when it is taking and draining you, and that's when you get good at letting go. A big thing for me is communication, like being really, really clear with your communication and your needs and your truth, and that's something that I'm still working on, like, right now, but I feel I'm getting better at it. And my goal is to share what I've learned so far with young women, only because I've just been attracting a lot of younger girls to me, and we've been going surfing, and we've been just, you know, exploring and getting into nature, and it's just so much fun. And I really hope to inspire, like, these young women to, you know, if I had a big sister when I was 18 or 19, like, it's kind of like a big sister. Like, ooh, mushroom. It's like a big sister. What do you call it? Like, I want to be like a big sister. To younger women,
to help with guidance and advice, and, you know, you've got those extra years on you. And you don't necessarily know exactly what they're going through, but there's that similarity there, and you're able to offer them some seeds of wisdom, really. And it just helps them grow in return, especially when you're coming from a really true, wholesome, like, full, whole place. It's gonna help them. It's gonna help them flourish.
And it makes me feel good. It honestly, like, the end of last year and the start of this year, it's just this down. I've been getting this download. Put these over here. I'm just getting this download, and it's like, it's all about the girls. It's all about healing the girls. It's all about women, and, like, it's all about making sure that I am also, like, practicing what I preach. You know, I'm not going to be like, don't drink alcohol and do this if I'm going to be doing it. So, I mean, I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited to pour lots of self-love into myself and share it with as many young girls as possible. And creating that sisterhood, creating that network, like, friendships. Like, friends are so important. Like, being a good friend is, they say that your relationships add 14 years on top of your lifespan. So you can be, you know, dabbling in, you know, a bit of junk food here and there or whatever, but your relationships are the most important thing in your life. They can add 14 years onto your lifespan. So you want to really invest in your relationships with people, and having friends to call upon and hang out with. Like, we've come from tribes. Like, we come, and it's kind of just bringing the community back together. I'm really excited. Some of my best days are when I've gone surfing with the girls, or we've gone and done, like, a yoga workshop, or we've just had a dinner party, and that's what I want to be able to create, so that people have these connections and friends that they can call upon. Because I mean, I know what it's like to be in anxiety and depression and lonely. Like, loneliness was huge for me, and now it's all kind of coming together. Like, I feel like really supported, and I want everyone to feel that support and that love. And having sisters, it's just like, it's beautiful.
It is.
And yeah, getting ourselves out of these toxic relationships, getting out of these workplaces that aren't fulfilling us. Like,
Kiah just quit her job.
I did.
today.
It was so hard for me to do, and I have this fear of letting down people, but I'm just you gotta live in alignment. You gotta do the things that make you feel good. Like,
100%.
it will just propel you. If there's something that's like hanging over you in your, like, I don't know, just hanging over the top of you and like causing fogginess in your brain, and you're just dreading it, like, you gotta let that go.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go.
100%.
And I'm still learning how to let go and be stronger and express my needs and speak my truth and be okay with people not liking me, but it's like you're doing it for yourself. And I just want to breathe belief into women and, you know, boost their it's confidence, it's courage. And courage is a huge word for me. Like, having a courageous heart is a very internal, like, I was talking about the difference between bravery and courage. And bravery is external.
Yeah.
I feel like bravery is an external quality, whereas courage is like an internal quality. It's like having the courage to speak up for yourself, having the courage to walk away, even though it can be so painful, but knowing that, you know, it's going to be better for you in the long run. And, you know, I'm still witnessing girlfriends in really toxic relationships and going back, and they're stuck in these vicious cycles. And, you know, that's something I do want to try and help girls and women with, but you got to be careful with that sort of stuff. You can't get too invested. You need to.
It's like planting the seeds of wisdom, knowing when the right time is to offer your advice and your opinions and your past experience as well, without being too invested in giving all of your energy into it. Because sometimes we can feel so passionate about something or someone, and being like, I've been through it, I've seen it. Yeah, she lost a friend over it. You know, someone that was probably quite a dear friend before it all happened. And
to be fair, I haven't lost them, like, they're back in my life now, but I had friends who cocoa water hydration is key.
Cocoa water.
When I was in my toxic patterns and I was going back, I was just going back, and they were like, Kiah, we can't be in your life, like, we can't watch you do this to yourself again. And I lost like two really, really, like, my best friends, my sisters. And now it's taken me a while to, you know, repair these relationships with them. Like, I never did anything to them, you know, directly, but they couldn't be in my life anymore. And I'm grateful for these experiences, because now it's made me be like, whoa.
Well, now you know, you can see through their lens as well. You know, you come to a different perspective of yourself and your situation, as well as what they were going through.
It's everything's a mirror and karma. And now
everything is a mirror.
Everything is a mirror. But I'm so, like, when you go through the hard times, like, I'm so appreciative of it. Like, every day I ask myself, like, what choices am I going to make? Like, how am I going to show up in the world? Like, who am I? Like, and the most important thing to me right now is truth. Like, the truth. Honesty.
So important.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Just telling the truth about, like, who you are. You know, people don't need to know everything about you, but you're telling yourself the truth, and to live from your heart space and making decisions from your heart. And what I've learned is, if you do that, there's no bad karma. Like, you're thinking about the choices that you're making.
Everything's clear too, right? You're painting a clear path for yourself. You know, if you're spilling out shit, you're gonna be walking in shit. You know, you're gonna be slipping in it. You know,
it's messy.
It's messy. It's really messy. It's like, so if you just really remaining true, clear, clairvoyant, like, absolutely, like, you can see through me. Yeah. You know, and you can.
We're powerful.
We're
really powerful. Like, women, we have, like, this crazy intuitive, like, clairvoyant powers, and, like, that's why we've been suppressed for so long. They know how powerful we are, and
Oh,
I think the quickest way to become intuitive and direct in your thinking is the rituals. Like rituals have saved my life. Like, my morning ritual has saved my I reckon totally, for sure. I mean, yoga was one of them, and then slowly you build upon, and you do the meditation, and you do the journaling, and you do the breath work, and you create that silence and that space, and you ask the questions like, you know, where to from here. You do your cards. It's all magic. That's another word for me this year. I got 3 words this year. It's truth and knowing. That's like 1, magic and loyalty.
I love that.
They're my words. Last year it was grace and courage and listening.
Nice.
And this year it's truth and knowing, magic and loyalty, and they're the things I want to bring in to my existence and my field.
Reflect out as well. I love that.
And I think when you know yourself and you love yourself, like life is just so good. Like when you wake up in the morning and the first you're the first person to like you, like every other like is bonus. And
100%.
Yeah, every other like is bonus.
That's it. It's all gifts, you know.
I think there's so much power in our presence. Social media is a crazy place, and when we're seeking that like validation on the socials, I think that time's coming to an end. Like it's still really, social media is powerful, and
and I think it's like you know, there's with anything, you get a really big handful of the good and you get a really big handful of the bad, right? And you're always going to have like 2 sides as well. So with social media at the moment, there's still that really heavy presence of seeking validation through and comparison, and all of these really toxic patterns and habits that are created, you know, in our subconscious through being a part of these platforms. But you also have the power to completely create your own reality through them as well. You know, you have the power to follow who you want. You have the power to fill your mind and your subconscious. Like everyone that I follow, I make sure if I'm scrolling, which I've actually deleted Instagram off my phone, it's just on iPad now, so I don't have full access to it, which is great. But if I'm scrolling, I'm making sure that, you know, our subconscious picks up everything. Even if you're scrolling, you know, a million miles an hour, you're still picking up those things. So I want to make sure that my feed is clean. It's full of inspiring things, empowering things, you know, because I know that for a fact when I was younger and I followed all of those Instagram models and I followed all of those diet pages and all of this like crazy stuff, I would leave social media. I'd get off my phone and I would feel so drained. I'd have the biggest headache. I would feel shit about myself. I'm like, why is this happening to me?
Perception of what your life is supposed to be like.
Right, and you know, everyone is posting their success on Instagram.
Yeah.
No one is posting about, you know, the shit that they took in the morning or about their scraped knee. No one's posting about that stuff. No one's posting like I'm fucking bloated and I'm on my period
right now.
Same. I'm on my period. I'm wearing my period undies. It's great. Period undies are very eco-friendly. Check them out. I like Muddy Body. It's a great brand. Muddy Body. They're so comfortable. I'm wearing some like really cheap Kmarty ones at the moment, but they still work. Still saving the environment. Also a really important factor of raising the vibration of women. Yeah. We're gonna help the environment.
Yeah. We're gonna cover everything, like baby steps, but you know, changing. I think another big thing for me is obviously skin, and that's something that I'm still working on, and something that I've really struggled with. If you go on my page, you'll see pictures of like how my skin has erupted in horrible, painful cystic acne, and I truly 100% believe that it is an internal manifestation of my skin. And then it becomes like a physical manifestation as well. So then I have to do both the physical and the emotional work to heal my skin. But I know for a fact when my skin breaks out, your skin is a clear indication that there's an imbalance in your body. Yeah, totally. And you know, we're meant to have beautiful, clear skin. I don't care what anyone says, but it's like hormones and all of that. It's what I've learned is my skin is me suppressing my emotion, and the emotion being anger, because anger is considered like a a bad emotion, but it's actually really healthy when expressed and
in the right ways.
And apparently I'm very, very angry, and I've got I'm still getting it out of my system, but skin is something that I really want to help girls heal with, and that's everything. That's the products that you use, the cleaning products that you use, the food that you put in your body, the water that you drink. I'm huge on water.
Water is how I met her.
Yes. Water. Yes.
I asked her to come back we were at a festival, and I was like, what are you doing after party? She's like, what kind of water do you have? And I'm like, rainwater. And she's like, I'll be there.
If they didn't have rainwater, I don't know if I would have gone, because there was no shops around, and water is really
You wouldn't be here today.
No, I wouldn't.
Stay hydrated, peeps.
Yeah.
Be good friends through it.
Water and everything that you put in, on, and like the conversation that you have, like that's all food for you. And how I want to, help raise the collective vibration of, both women and men. It all naturally happen. Release, let go. It's just changing all these little things in your life, and they're all going to make you feel good. And like I said at the beginning, my goal is to simply help you feel good. And it's your birthright, and it's super simple. And I want to create a platform where people can ask questions and integrate my teachings into their life. And
what are your platforms at the moment?
I've got an Instagram page, Kiah Stone, and I'm in the process of building a website.
Beautiful.
Which will have short films in there, and I just want to make it really light, really playful, really fun and funny. Laughing is my medicine. I found an old poem.
Is laughing.
Yeah, all the time. I actually found an old poem that I wrote on my 24th birthday, and my skin was terrible, and I was really depressed, and nothing was working out. I found this old poem, and in my poem it said, "Laughing is my medicine."
It is.
It totally is my medicine. And when you play and when you laugh and you do things like climb trees and you bring that inner child up and out, it makes you younger. It makes you look younger, you feel more youthful, and that's a huge element for me. Is play and laugh. And
it's important. We lose that. I think younger generations are now starting to actually understand that. We're starting to, really dip our toes into bringing out that inner child and releasing that and letting that be a part of us in our everyday life. But I think the older generations were really stuck on, grow up, work hard, do this hard, everything's got to be this, and then through that process they actually end up losing their inner child. They suppress that. Really, they're not losing the inner child, they're suppressing the inner child by believing that growing up means you are a grown-up. And I say that with quotations because the perception of a grown-up is actually really warped.
It is.
And inner child stuff is so healing. Play, absolutely.
Playing and just being free.
Keeps you young.
Yeah, it totally does. And I plan to look like this for a long time.
And you will.
Self-preservation is if I can help get it into young girls' minds, like alcohol. If I do have some regrets, and they say to live life with no regrets, but if I could go back and change something when I was 18 years old, I would not have abused alcohol the way that I did. But I only did that because my mental health was, really bad, and I was just coping. Yeah. But if there's something that I could teach young women is to start taking care of your body now, helping women to get young girls to get off the contraceptive pill, that stuff is toxic. If you're on the pill, then I really want you guys to consider to get off that and find other means of contraception.
Yeah,
messing
the whole
up
world of contraception, man. Like I know for a fact that there's a bunch of male scientists out there that just do not give two flips about the woman, and
it takes away your power.
It does take away power, and it really it fucks with everything. It fucks with your hormones. And I've had the best of the best contraceptions. I had an IUD that was really low hormone, and I really made sure that when I made the decision, I was making the best one for my body at the time. But even then, I was 18, and I still wasn't properly informed on what it really meant to have something in your body.
foreign object.
A foreign object, and then it is a foreign object, you know. And it wasn't until I met my recent partner, and he was just like, "You need to get that out of your body."
Yeah.
He's the one that brought that to my awareness, and I was
He's
like,
so beautiful.
"Yeah, he's tapped in. He's tapped in," and I went through hell and back to get that out of my body. It was a process, and then you know, coming out of it, you start to release all of the shit that it left in your body, and it's hectic. It's really hectic, and it's unnatural. There are better ways.
I think what
Being in touch.
Yeah, there's like the main focus is like obviously feeling good and playing, but like bringing back that natural beauty and that natural cycle of a woman is just so important, especially if we want to have like babies. Like we don't want to keep repeating what's been happening, you know.
Yeah.
We don't want to keep repeating like disease and like mental illness is like all new. It's all new.
Well, yeah.
It's
created.
It's created through the things that we see and watch on television and social media, the food, the stuff they're putting in our food, the stuff they're putting in our products, and that's like
what we're being made to believe about all of that as well. I feel like, you know, mainstream media is really heavily enforcing and pushing all of these products onto us, especially women. Women are like
makeup,
front force of it.
fake this, fake lashes,
do this,
tans,
do that, all this stuff to fit in,
Mm.
right? To be normal, to be healthy, to be this, to be that, to be this. When really it's like, yeah, it's refining all of that and bringing it back to self and why we're actually here and where we came from. It's Mama Earth. Like, we came from the earth. Like, we are supposed to be living in alignment with nature, but instead we're completely in the other opposite direction. And yeah, it's really, you know, the aim of the game is to come back full circle.
Come back to
teach the children, you know.
Back to basics.
Back to
basics. Back to simplicity. Less is more.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned as well, especially when it came to my skin. Like when it started to break out, you know, getting laser, you're getting this, you're buying these products, and when I just was like, I literally just started doing enemas and changed my water and like my food. And that was like the quickest response my skin had to it, and resting. Resting and I honestly reckon my barefoot beach walks every day. Connecting to the earth and like receiving that energy. It helped me to heal. It like healed my skin within a month. It was amazing. And I'm back on that journey again, and I'm really excited. I feel like I've come down a little bit, and to remind myself of like what it actually feels again. To you know, maybe not feeling so loving towards my body. I'm like, like I don't feel that good. Like I don't look as good as I was looking before. My skin, and I'm remembering. I'm like, okay, Kiah, well, what did you do to get back? And I was like, I did this and this. I rise with the sun. I got onto the earth and did barefoot walking. I did my yoga. I did my meditation. I ate clean. I made sure that the people I spent my time with were, you know, high vibe and beautiful and kind and loving, and that's how you heal. And
you feed yourself the positive things. You feed yourself the good things, all the good things.
And in your language as well, the way that you speak. I have a girlfriend who she was saying it quite regularly, like, I just feel fat and ugly, and I just looked her in the eye and I was like, you need to eradicate those two words from your vocabulary right now.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
So the way you speak about yourself, and
because you're feeding yourself that, you're in return, you know, creating a reality that might not even be there. And you know, fat, like that word fat, that's a big feminist issue right there. Fat phobia is a real thing, you know, and that's the thing that we need to fucking take a look at. And unfortunately, it is mainly directed into, you know, the woman's psyche, you know, through mainstream media and just society in general. But that's we've really created something around that. Like, what is fat? What does it mean to be fat? Like, really have a think about that word, because, you know, we've created such negativity around being fat or feeling fat or a fat person. And you know, when we have this sort of like, you know, strong negative feeling towards something or someone, or we create this really like ugly part in ourselves, and we don't want to look at it, and we keep creating, and it gets bigger and bigger, and by feeding yourself that sort of shit, you just you're, what's the word I'm looking for? You're just like, you just become like, you are that. You are what you feel.
You are what you say. Like, and all this is it's just awareness and being conscious of being present. In your speech.
Being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Be kind
and
to yourself and others.
I know it's pretty like, it's probably maybe overused, like loving yourself and being kind to yourself, but it literally is as simple as that. It's literally like, loving yourself isn't going out on the weekend getting all dressed up, putting on your makeup and drinking. Like, that's not being kind to yourself. I think if you're in a place where you're not feeling so good, it's like changing those habits and actually acting, doing acts of self-love, like staying in, like, and I know that can be uncomfortable too.
And it's like, it's really like, it's when you're feeling empty, it's not using those tangible things like substances or makeup or shopping or anything that is consumerism based to fill that void in yourself. It's to loving yourself is it's staying home and being like, okay, I'm gonna sit in this void and feel what the fuck it is and feel it out and release it, and be kind in the way that I do that, in the process that I take to do so. It's if you're coming from a whole place and you're feeling full and you're feeling like topped up as fuck, like, go out, like, have fun, get dressed up, do your thing, like, it's like that is self-love. It's like when you're coming from a whole place, you can do anything you want to do that makes you feel good, and it's just like you said before with friends, it's just adding to it. You're just adding to that already topped up cup. It's just a bonus. But if you're feeling like, just quite down and out, it's really refraining from, grabbing those external like remedies to feel ourselves. It's really important.
And like the women's movement that we want to create here on the coast is like, when you are feeling down and sad and you're just at home, knowing that you actually have someone that you can call upon, because you have made new friends that are on the same sort of but in the same boat as you, that can help you, and support is huge.
Massive.
And I just want to create like as many new like beautiful connections and friends, and I'm really excited.
Me too.
Yeah, especially with the women's yoga and the women's surfing, they're going to be like an ongoing, building that up. I've already started an all women's yoga class here on the Sunshine Coast, and just hope to bring mums and daughters in, and eventually run like monthly feel good day retreats for women and surf days, and that's where my focus is going to be, and just making you laugh and making you feel good, and knowing that you can come to me, and I'm open, I'm here to chat, I'm here to listen anytime.
And how can we like find you like through these?
Or you can find me at Kiah Stone on Instagram, and we can put that in the
beautiful. And there's like
comments.
Links that you can go to.
Updates. So I'll be building that. That's my focus for this year as well. And then I've got another little project which is working with adaptogenic plants to help balance hormones, to help with mental clarity, to heal the organs, to detoxify the body. Speaking of detoxify the body, I'm actually doing a protocol right now for parasite cleansing and gut healing as part of this little venture, and that's something that I think is really important too when you are healing, is to do a cleanse and to really take it easy, and to kind of just like a little reset button. And that's what I did when I went to Bali. How many years ago was that now? 5 years ago. That's what I did. I stopped all the things. I stopped drinking. I stopped the substance. I did the yoga. I ate clean. I had the colonics. I did the emotional healing work. And within a month, I was healed. But then you come back, and then life, and you do it, and then it builds back up, and then you take.
You have those tools and that skill set now.
And it's like a twice yearly thing that I'll do now, where I cleanse, I go in, I go quiet, I take the utmost care of my body, and then it's crazy. The body wants to be balanced. The body wants to heal. Like that's a natural state for us. We just have to help support that, and through daily rituals, through support, through making new friends, and through like these plant medicines and remedies and cleanses and whatnot is how I hope to help you guys heal and feel good. And I'm stoked. When it all kind of clicked and became clear, I was trying to help everyone, and I was like, wait, it's just about the girls. It's all about the girls. It's all about healing the girls and raising our collective vibration, because I want to see more girls walking around, big smiles on their face, feeling pretty, complimenting each other. It's just beautiful.
When we heal women, we're healing the world. Yeah. You know, it coincides. Like, men, you're just going to gain just as much from women being healed as the women are. You know, it's coming back to that balanced place.
And we love our beautiful men.
We love our men.
We do. We really do.
We love them.
And even when we find ourselves in relationships that are toxic, like when we leave and let go of these relationships, you let go and leave them with love and send them love. And
you help them. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. They gain, hopefully, some sort of lesson from that as well. When you leave, like, you're teaching them a lesson, and not in a bad way, not a pointing your finger sort of teaching you a lesson, but you're leaving them with, you know, some forethought perhaps on, you know, what they did in the relationship that they could have done better, and hopefully that in return will, you know, give them some insight on how to treat someone better next time.
Totally.
Yeah,
this is going to be really fun. I'm keen to put my yoga teaching and my health coaching and my speaking and help you, help guide you. Not so much to tell you what to do, but help guide you and ask the right questions and listen to you, and hopefully share on my platforms, on my social media, all the juicy, yummy stuff that's going to make you feel good. And
all the yummy stuff.
All high vibe.
Amazing.
Yay.
Well, I think we'll leave it there on that note. Thanks for listening. This is Being Heard, and that was a really beautiful conversation with Kiah.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor to be the first one. This girl is amazing. An absolute goddess, has helped me to really be stronger and more direct in my communication, and she's doing amazing stuff, raising my vibe, helping me to become a better human being, a better person, a better friend, a better sister. Every day. You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Love you.
I love you.